This video contains mention of suicide and details of gore. Zama. A peaceful location between Tokyo and Mount Fuji, in the Kanagawa Prefecture of Japan. It's a small city with a number of parks, local events, and a Nissan Heritage Museum. However, between October and November 2017, Zama would be the location of one of the worst serial killings in Japan's history. From the police perspective, the case would start with a missing person. They were searching for a suicidal 23-year-old woman from Tokyo, who had posted on Twitter looking for somebody to die with me. Japan has noted suicide as a national crisis and has a relatively large rate on a global scale. Authorities would go on to discover a link between her and Takahiro. I won't show the man's face, and going forward will refer to him as the murderer. An unemployed 27-year-old, he had previously worked as a scout for a prostitution ring in Shinjuku. Within Shinjuku sits Kabukicho, an area known for its red light district and sex industry. It was here the murderer gained notoriety as the creepy scout, and was given a suspended prison term in February 2017 for his involvement in the organised crime. A month later he would tell his father he saw no meaning in life, and would use Twitter to communicate with other suicidal people. The same platform he once used for the criminal prostitution scout work. His accounts "I want to die" and "a professional at hanging." The latter account would be used as a suicide professional persona, with truly heartless posts such as "If you're at a dead end, please consult me," with the hashtag suicide recruitment. Targeting young suicidal women, he would direct message the girls with messages like "Let's die together," while his other account, "I want to die," was used as a depressive diary of suicidal thoughts. In August 2017, he told his father he had found the love of his life and would urgently need his own apartment. His father acted as a guarantor, and the murderer moved into the small Zama apartment, later described as his house of horrors. 2 months later, in October, police were on the search for the missing 23-year-old Tokyo woman. Using the online trail left by the murderer, he became a prime suspect. Police would then use Twitter to lure the murderer to a nearby train station, and followed him back to his apartment. Once he entered the apartment, police would immediately knock on the door and questioned him on the whereabouts of the young woman. The murderer answered, "In there," pointing to a nearby freezer. These 2 words would lead the police to find the decapitated heads and 240 bones of 9 bodies. In detail, police would find 3 cooler boxes and 5 large storage boxes containing body parts such as heads, legs and arms. Police also recovered 2 kitchen knives, scissors, a saw, binding rope and a boring tool, all with traces of blood. The murderer later told police, "I disposed of their flesh and internal organs like garbage, but kept their bones out of fear that I would be caught." The remains he kept had been covered in cat litter to stop the smell from spreading. However, a neighbour said they had noticed a pungent smell emanating from the apartment. The murderer allegedly strangled his victims shortly after bringing them home and went on to sexually assault some of them. 8 of his victims were young women and 1 male, the boyfriend of the first victim, who was murdered when inquiring about his missing girlfriend. Prosecutors conducted a mental health examination, and it is reported his mental health will be a focal point of the trial. As of September 2018, the murderer has been indicted on charges of all 9 murders, and due to the amount of evidence, the case is expected to take a long time. Japan's government has since vowed to make efforts in improving mental health support for young people. This includes financially supporting local counselling projects. They have also vowed to tackle internet-linked crimes through education and encouraging private companies to monitor social media posts related to suicide. The killer had murdered 9 people in a short space of time, and the number could have risen had the police not taken the initiative in finding the missing 23-year-old woman. Ultimately, the murderer's killing spree was stopped using the same platform he had used to lure his victims: Twitter. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe if you'd like to see more.